All right, folks, Alan Graff here. Once again, it's Asheville Music and Revolution, episode 8. Man, we've done 8 shows. I really can't believe it. We're back here in some of the most intense times, and we've got a purpose. And if you could call the show something, you'd call it Hurricane and Elections. We're going to try to cover both, although I don't know if we'll do justice to either one, but I got as my guests here today the band that play with, Rock While Rome Burns, with JB on drums, George Gellish on bass.
Hi, folks.
And my fabulous neighbor and a newfound friend, Andrew Fletcher, who is one of the famous piano players here in Asheville. And I met him working together doing busking advocacy. So let me start off with Andrew and introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us, when you got here and what kind of music you play and that sort of thing. And we'll be hearing, today we'll be hearing from Rock While Rome Burns, our band, and also Andrew will be playing us some numbers as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Alan. I really appreciate being here and just walking up the street to hang out in your nice studio. My name is Andrew Fletcher. I moved up here in 2007 permanently, but I've been hanging out in the Asheville scene since the early 2000s. Started gigging professionally in 2010 with the Firecracker Jazz Band. The band's been around for 21 years here in Asheville, and we do mainly 20s and 30s jazz, and love doing that stuff. A lot of instrumentals from Jelly Roll Morton, Louis Armstrong, and that type of thing.
Love that stuff.
And a few originals as well. The last year I started playing with a new outfit in town, Mashia Lake and the Mood Swingers, and they're just Mashia is just a fantastic singer. She learned her chops singing in front of horn sections in New Orleans, and so she's got a set of pipes on her that can just fill any room you put her in. Okay. And she's put together a great band. I love playing with them. We played this past weekend and a couple times next month as well. So,
all right. Well, speaking of playing, let's talk a little bit about what the hurricane did to the music and the tourist scene and what makes Asheville vibrant. I know you've been around for a while. We're still kind of learning the ropes and getting into the swing things. What's it look like? What's the scene look like now for musicians? And
well, it's pretty empty. And, historically, Asheville has had a pretty complex relationship with tourism. It's not all good and it's not all bad. But right now, it's without any of it. All the gigs have dried up, basically. There's very, very few things. People are doing benefits and such like that. But we've really come to rely on it. And, that's its own story about why that has taken place. But the effect of it now, as the boat we're in, is that there's a lot of people in all the industries that serve our visitors that have basically their income has stopped and their bills keep going. And we're looking at
already making not quite enough to cover it.
Right. So things have been tight for a while because just the price of housing is just sky high here, and it's far surpassed the increase in incomes, and in which is a story that I think a lot of places tell across the country. But in Asheville, these points are even spikier, and so it's certainly been a challenge. People have been holding on tight, and that grip for a lot of people just got loosened greatly because this is supposed to be our biggest month for gigs and money making and weddings and events and all that stuff, and we just had the rug pulled out from underneath us.
You think we're going to recover? As our song says, are we going to recover?
Absolutely. How soon? I have no idea.
Yeah. You guys live more, not in Asheville, but like in Fletcher and
South Asheville.
South Asheville. How's it look out there? How's things look? Not at the music scene, but how did the people do through the hurricane?
Well, it's so random that anybody who's living near the creeks or the rivers really got hammered. I had people right down the block from me get their houses flooded out, but we were very fortunate. We live on higher ground, and we survived the storm pretty well. But a lot of other people are really hurting right now. They don't have any income, and many have lost everything, and it's a tough time.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
JB?
Well, I know I'm still boiling my water. I know that. So, yeah, the apartment complex I live in.
I took a shower over your place.
You did? Yeah. I've got a I have a public
appreciate
shower
that.
going now. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
these are my new
donations.
shower friends, by the
Grateful.
way.
Yeah.
Gratefully
It's
appreciated.
Alan again. He smells bad.
I even went out and bought a new shower curtain because I was so ashamed about the condition of mine, after living in that place for a year.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we never lost power or water where I
Yeah.
live, which we were like one of the
We
very few.
But it's
to
still
not
like
lose that.
that all
It's
pretty much
crazy.
all over. We have flush water. We have marginal wash water. We don't have drinking water. I mean, I'm still drinking out of like plastic bottles and stuff like that. Is that what you guys are doing?
Yeah, for drinking water, nothing coming out of the tap, and then for the plants and the chickens that we raise, been collecting rainwater,
Yeah.
and because I don't want to put all the chlorine into the plants or our animals,
Right.
but
Well, let me switch topics, and I talked about that. We're into the election, and this is, in Asheville we were like, okay, we've just had this intense crap happen to us, this hurricane, and now we got to deal with an election. It's almost like PTSD doubled over, right?
And a lot of people still haven't gotten over the pandemic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just coming back from that.
So, but I did this show. I put the show together for a really specific reason. If you get anything out of this show, vote. Damn it, go out and
So
vote.
important. So
Absolutely.
important.
Go and vote because North Carolina is a swing state. And I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'll never do that. You can probably tell who I voted for, but it could go either way. I mean, it could when it was Bush v. Gore, it was down to 100 votes in Florida, and that could happen here too. You could be the vote that changes the course of the destiny of the world. Think about that power. You might have that
No
power.
pressure.
You might have that power, and so it's really important now to get out and vote. Us musicians, this is. I mean, we're sort of the heart and soul of the community, and it's important for us to get out. And I'd like to hear any of you guys address that. JB.
Well, I've always said that if you don't vote, you don't have a right to bitch about the results.
That's right.
And I like to be able to bitch if I want to, so I'm going to vote.
Yeah.
So it's extremely important, always has been. I have a very deep faith in the strength of the institutions in this country. I know we can all get extremely wound up about, this candidate or that candidate, but I think ultimately that we are strong enough as a country to survive this.
I'm hoping you're right. Now, one of the things I do besides being a musician, I'm also a constitutional lawyer. And I read today a piece by Michael Ludwig, who is a former Republican judge. He was appointed by Ronald Reagan. He's been around. He's advised the Republican Party for years, and he came out and really strong words. And he's a guy who's just been a major Republican for years, and said, whatever you do, please vote for Kamala Harris, because the other guy doesn't know anything about the Constitution. He's going to destroy it. He's going to wreck it. Now, to me, as a constitutional lawyer, that was powerful to see this judge, who is a very conservative judge, say that. So, there's some warning signs there, and this is an election that I appreciate what you just said about the institutions holding, people who want to go off the deep end from not allowing them to do that. But if you're a historian, these things happened before. It happened in Italy with Mussolini. It happened in Germany, where Hitler got in by a democratic vote. And so, hopefully we're not going to go down the road. We have a really precious thing, and I want to hear from you guys. But I know this for a fact. One, I have grandparents who I lost in the Holocaust, and two, I lived in Guatemala for 3 years under a military dictatorship. So, for those who poo-poo the democracy here, which is very imperfect in the U.S., it's still fucking great. And, compared to a lot of other places. And so, let's put value into that. It allows us, people who have differing opinions and differing views, to get along in the same society. It's that kind of thing.
I think that perspective is really important. We get myopic sometimes. We, get so vehement about left or right, Republican or Democrat, and when we really should recognize what a wonderful and precious thing we have with our democracy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Andrew?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not, I'm not a party guy. I like to encounter all the politicians on their own merits.
Yeah.
And I have my own philosophy, and it certainly has a tend to align. But I never vote blindly. But I always vote. I always vote. I've voted in every election, I believe, since 2002. And it's just, there's a lot of inequality in our world. There's a tremendous amount. The one place, though, where you've got one and everybody else has one is in the ballot box. Is in that ballot box when you go to vote. So if Elon Musk had 1 billion votes, it would be a different story. He might have $1 billion, but he's only got one vote, and I've only got one vote too. And so having a place to encounter your fellow citizens, where you're all equal and your voice is all equal, is it's something we should all value and take advantage of.
Yeah.
You know what I saw today that was beautiful? I saw people bringing their kids in to vote, because I was poll reading this morning, and they were bringing their kids in, their little kids, pint-sized kiddies, and it just brought back a great memory. My dad did that with me. He brought me into the voting booth, and he showed me how to work the machine, and he pressed upon me. He said, "This is the most important thing you might ever do for your country." I used to say that. And every year when I vote, I think about that.
A lot of people are afraid, about things happening, weird things happening after the election, if people lose, the candidate, whatever. One of the things that has encouraged me, and I wanted to sort of go shift back to the hurricane and the recovery effort, is I'm a lawyer besides a musician, and I've done a lot of legal aid work. I even for different people, I've actually traveled around the areas around Asheville helping people out. And I've noticed that there's a huge community effort out there to help everybody out. Doesn't matter what your politics are, doesn't matter who you're voting for, it doesn't matter whether you have a Kamala or a Trump bumper sticker, people are going to help you out. And that to me shows me that America has that ability, and that's what we really need to, I really want to focus on, the ability to be strong and sane and compassionate and kind. That's what kind of makes things run that way, and I'm hoping we can kind of get back to that instead of shouting at each other.
Couldn't agree more. Absolutely.
I think a lot of people have stepped up in the last few weeks, and it was really wonderful to see.
Yeah. So, anybody else want to say anything before we get to some music? We're going to hear some music from Rock While Rome Burns today, and the fabulous Andrew Fletcher.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back with another show shortly. 1, 2, 3, 4. On this 4th day of July, I keep asking myself why. How can we throw it all away? Equal rights and equal say. Have the powerful and rich. Let me in there with it, bitch. Stopping traffic in the night. Brown shirt standing there a guy. Woo! In fantasy we agree. It's on your ship us out to sea. We can make it through the night. Hopefully till morning light. No king, no ruler, no autocrat. No dictator, saying 85 degrees in late October. Who's gonna be president when it's over? Yeah, they're lining up the post office looking for food stamps, sticking in a box right down here in Cox. Haven't thought this situation over. Lucky to be home with the roof on my head. Some aren't as lucky, some of my friends are dead. Will we ever fully recover? Many lost jobs that didn't pay much, got evicted from the homes without water enough. Did I say law and order? Who's gonna be president when it's over? Yeah, the future looks bleak, nothing to seek. Some Pollyanna advice makes you feel nice. Still hot as hell in late October. Oh, I might capitulate, try to find a way to the positive, as my mother would say. This should be the worst thing that happened till it's over. If the crazy man don't win, we all got a fighting chance. Get our shit together for one more dance. Time to trade the Tesla in for a Rover. Who's gonna be president when it's over? Who's gonna be president when it's over? Who's gonna be president when it's over?